Hey, fantasy football fans, you're back with Mike and Tim talking again. We're getting ready to dive into our 2012 running back rankings now. We've completed our three-part episode on quarterbacks that you've been able to view recently, and now we're going to start you in a four-part episode of running backs for 2012, and we'll see if we can find somebody to help you out. Rhino, you want to mention who we're representing today?
Yeah, as you see, I got we're throwing back a little bit here with the Oakland Raiders running back Bo Jackson.
Bo knows football.
Bo knows. And the Commish here supporting the Dallas Cowboys all-time leading rusher, Emmitt Smith.
And arguably, I'll throw that word in, one of the greatest running backs of all time. Maybe that'll be an episode we'll do before long, as we'll do the Emmitt Smith versus Barry Sanders argument that never seems to fail to come up in any kind of running back conversations. Okay, well, let's jump on in. And what we're going to do here first, as we said, it'll be a four-part episode. We're going to do the top 24 running backs, same as we did quarterbacks, and we're going to do them in 4 parts of 6. So we'll start with our running backs that'll be grouped in the 19 to 24. The Rhino in this one took the first pick, so that gave me the final pick. So I'll be putting up first with number 24. I'm going with running back Donald Brown of the Indianapolis Colts.
Wow.
The thing I'll say about Donald Brown is he's been named the starter, and in this day and time in the NFL, when you've been given the clear-cut number 1 starting job,
it means a lot.
That's a lot for a running back. There's so many running back by committee approaches now, so many running backs that lose the goal lines to another guy. So that's what's going to put Donald Brown on my list. Last year, not a big year, 645 yards, 5 touchdowns. One thing I like, though, about Donald Brown is as bad as Indianapolis was last year, going 2-14, he still averaged 4.8 yards per carry. So that's a great yards per carry, especially on a team that was that bad. And with Andrew Luck there, Andrew Luck's going to be looking for Brown, I think, quite a bit out of the backfield as a safety valve for him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Donald Brown at 24.
So you have Donald Brown off at 24, and it leaves me with the 23. And I'm going to take a guy who last year just finally rushed for his first ever 1,000-yard season, and that's a Miami Dolphins running back, Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush had 1,086 yards last year, 6 touchdowns, and like I said, that's his first 1,000-yard rushing season. But Miami don't really got a whole lot to get excited for down there right now, and Reggie Bush seems to be, what might get the fans back into it there in Miami. So I look for him getting a lot of carries again this year to see if he can prove to be that every down back that he wants to be. And if he can, he can catch the ball coming out of the backfield. He's proved that in New Orleans. So if they can get him in that offense and get him the ball on every down, he could be maybe even higher than my 23 that I have him at.
I think the most exciting thing going on in Miami right now has to do with Ryan Tannehill, but it's not Ryan Tannehill. That's the only hint I'm going to give you. If you can dive into that a little deeper, you'll know what Miami fans are excited about.
It's a hot topic.
Hot topic. All right, moving up to me back at 22. I'm going Buffalo Bills running back Fred Jackson. Jackson last season, 934 yards and 6 touchdowns, 39 catches for 442 more yards, so 1,400, close to 1,400 all-purpose yards. Now, of course, Fred Jackson went down with that broken leg in Week 11, and one of the reasons that I have Fred dropping a little bit is, as we talked about in a previous episode, is having C.J. Spiller there. C.J. Spiller, I just think, is going to continue to improve and take some more carries away. And I think Buffalo's going to be a little bit more careful with Fred Jackson. General manager there in Buffalo, Buddy Nick's one of my favorite general managers in the league. The guy knows how to build a team. And, when he come out and sign Fred for 2 more years, I think he knows because Fred has 2 more years left in him.
Fred showed that when he got the ball, he could be a good, solid contributor to your fantasy team.
Definitely so. So I'm going Fred Jackson at number 22, but don't be surprised if you see Fred finish a lot higher.
And that leaves me with the number 21. And I'm going to take off the board 49ers running back Frank Gore. And I know some may think that's high for him, but that's where I have him. Frank Gore had 1,200 yards last year and 8 touchdowns. I still kind of see that falling off this year with bringing in running back, big back Brandon Jacobs, touchdown stealer. He done it to Bradshaw in New York. He's going to do it to Gore in San Francisco. They got a lot of backs in that backfield. Brought in rookie LaMichael James, and I still see them giving them a lot of carries to try to help that offense be explosive because James got speed. They're going to try to figure a way to put some points on the board because that's kind of what's hurt them last year.
They still have Kendall Hunter in that backfield also, right?
Yes, and a guy named Anthony Dixon.
Anthony Dixon. So the good thing though about Frank Gore, for any of you that are looking at taking him, is I think last year was his second most carries that he's had in a year during his career, as well as his second most yards that he's had in a season. If I'm right about that, and I think I am. So the good news is San Francisco's still using him. He's still durable and he's still able to carry the ball. So although he might lose some, he should still be.
Yeah, he still might not be that #1 running back you'll look at, but he's a great solid #2.
So I guess we're swinging back to me at number 20. I'm going with a guy here that I've liked. I've liked him out of college. Followed him for a long time. Running back Willis McGahee with the Denver Broncos. McGahee last year, 1,200 yards, 4 touchdowns. The thing that I like, I'll tell you now about McGahee is, although I think McGahee's entering his, this may be his 9th season now, may actually be his 10th season. He still only has about 1,700 carries on him, so he hasn't carried the ball a whole lot. He was in Baltimore for 4 years there after Buffalo, and 3 of those last years, I don't know if he had 150 carries in 1 year. They was using him so little and so sparingly. However, going to Denver, he was resurrected a little bit, and that was thanks in part to having a running back / wannabe quarterback in the backfield, so they had to go to a running game, which allowed McGahee to get to be useful once again. Now, they brought in Peyton Manning, though, who's really going to open it up and make those defenses be honest, so I think that's going to help McGahee. I'm expecting another good year out of McGahee.
I think a lot of people still forget, Willis McGahee, what he done in college. This guy was explosive coming out of Miami. Before he blow his knee out. So
worst knee injury I've ever seen a guy, I think, go through.
Still see it.
And to come back from that and still at this time in his career be able to put up 1,200 yards, I think that just shows that this guy's for real.
Good work ethic.
He's a ball player, and he's got a couple more left in him.
All right, now you have the number Willis McGahee coming off at the number 20 running back. That leaves me with 19. I'm taking off New York Jets running back Sean Green, a big back. They're talking they're going to give him all these carries this year. It could be good for the fantasy owners. Last year he had 1,054 yards and 6 touchdowns. So if they can give him the ball, I'll look for a little better year in the rush and touchdowns out of him. Because I think Sanchez is that quarterback still yet. This guy still needs time. This year is a year. He's going to help get that team down the field and let Sean Green punch it in the red zone.
Well, they brought in Tony Sperano, their head coach at Miami last year, who's as the offensive coordinator now. And Tony Sperano was big and heavy on the running game, so he's definitely going to be looking to push Sean Green as much as he can, as hard as he can, to get all they can out of him. But I think, like you said, Sanchez is still, since he's just signed a new contract extension, so he's going to be the man there. And this whole mess about bringing in Tim Tebow and the circus to New York. Tebow's not coming there to take the starting job. He has no shot of beating out Mark Sanchez for the starting job. So it's still going to continue to be Sanchez's job, and he's going to rely on Sean Green to help him out with that.
And I think if you was to ask Sean Green who he'd like to have behind center to help him, he's going to say Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, there's no question. Any running back in the NFL's got just going to say that. So
I believe it's safe to say 19 is a good spot for Sean Green.
That gives us our 19 through 24 rankings of our running backs. That'll be Sean Green at 19. We got Willis McGahee at 20, Frank Gore at 21, Fred Jackson 22, Reggie Bush 23, and Donald Brown at 24. We'll see you in our next episode when we'll be looking at numbers 13 through 18 in running backs for 2012.
So there you have it, fantasy football fans. And remember, if you have a question, send it in to us on our Facebook. We got your answer. Here with Mike and Tim talking again.